Welcome back to Blockbuster Analysis.
Disclosure Day.
Today we will be talking about the ending to Disclosure Day from Steven Spielberg. This is the last week that our editor will be on break for.
Anywho's, we're also going to just run through some of our favorite plot points, not necessarily plot points, but, things that made the movie enjoyable.
It's like a mini review.
Yeah, I would say. A little bit of both.
Yeah, I agree. Would you like to go first?
Yeah, so right off the bat,
I liked when Anubis woke me up because I was falling asleep because work was really tiring.
Yeah, you were having a little bit of a snore, so that's why I was like, I gotta wake this guy up. But all in all, I will say, I gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd, and I
give it
think
4.
for me that translates to a low A tier. I'd say bottom of A tier. I was really deciding between high B, low A, but I feel like it had enough new stuff and it was exciting enough for me to be like, okay, these are new ideas that I'm following, and it's not a regurgitation of stuff I've already heard before.
Right. I agree. It was, as much as I love Steven Spielberg, of all of his extraterrestrial films, like E.T.
Yeah, exactly. Close Encounters, Jaws, Jurassic Park, plenty.
Oh my god, that's such a huge repertoire. But of his extraterrestrial things, I think this is the weakest one. I personally give it high B tier. I give it 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Oh, high B.
Because I do think the movie does have a lot of quality, but for my own personal enjoyment, it's like how I put Backrooms in D, despite I think it's a C tier movie.
This is definitely one of the movies of the year so far that although I liked it, it hasn't been my most enjoyed experience. I don't see myself really desiring to rewatch it. I feel like watching it once was sufficient for me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think that's what really attributes
I'll rewatch
to
this
the low A. Yeah.
In 2 years when I forget the story. But
right, and you're peeking for a sci-fi film,
right.
and you want something familiar.
This is what I would like to call a medium sci-fi film. I've talked about, obviously we talked about hard sci-fi and
like Star
soft
Wars?
sci-fi. Soft sci-fi would be Star Wars.
Really?
Hard sci-fi would be like Project Hail Mary, where it is so down to earth, everything's realistic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, everything's realistic.
Heavy emphasis on science.
Yes.
I see.
Because obviously, we can't go to Tau Ceti, we can't study astrophage, it's not real, right? That's the fictional part of things.
Mm-hmm.
But everything is grounded in real science. Like, this is the acceleration of astrophage, this is the melting temperature,
I really like this one's soft science.
Yes.
I love alien stuff, and I like that. I don't know, I really like.
Well, I would
the
say the
device
science. The science felt very hard sci-fi to me. The reason I say this is medium sci-fi is because we had basically superpowers. I'm gonna look at you and know everything about you.
That's like Chronicle almost.
I can make you see me as someone else based off just a few words. I know exactly what to say to make that happen to you.
Okay,
Junior. Kiddo? You're alive? But
yeah.
That's what I mean. But I think to me the science makes sense. Obviously the device isn't real, but it's not super magical. And it's based in real science that they explain. And
this is a good point. And there's also very real limitations of an earthling using it and how it affects their body. Yeah, good point.
And I would say that's the hard sci-fi. The soft sci-fi is Emily Blunt and oh my god, what's his name?
Josh O'Connor.
They basically had superpowers.
Right.
And there were aliens. That's the soft sci-fi
Mm-hmm.
of it. Mixing these two together, I would argue it's hard sci-fi or medium sci-fi.
And
then soft sci-fi like Star Wars, super magical. Spaceships that cannot exist, aliens, right? All of that, none of that is based in real life.
Jabba the Hutt. Speaking of hard science, though, or hard sci-fi, one thing that I really liked was the fact that you're hearing this, it sounds like English, and the language, quote unquote, they decided to make as the universal language is mathematics.
Yeah, I loved that.
I think that's so cool. Because honestly.
But that's what this movie offers. A lot of
sense.
Really fun, tiny details.
I agree. Especially me.
That's where Steven Spielberg shines, especially in this film.
Fun fact for those of you at home who don't know, I believe Voyager 1 is very close to finally making it to 1 light day away from Earth. And so rooting this movie in that science fiction by making the universal language math, thinking about the Voyager 1 disc and all that stuff. I thought that was really cool. And that was definitely some of the stuff that bumped it up for me as being this feels like a it's definitely a sci-fi thriller.
Right.
But it's cool how it's a heist, a whistleblower thing, but we elevate that by making it into aliens.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was really, really good. And obviously today, this is probably the most political I'm gonna get hopefully ever, on this channel. The Epstein files and that whole thing. Huge government cover-ups.
Not to cut you off, but you're right, I think of how this movie brings up the fact, like, the right to know versus the consequences of the truth and stuff like that.
I agree, yeah. I mean, those files are redacted to hell and back. And, like, Roswell, New Mexico, they brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
Right, another thing that a lot of people believe is another huge government cover-up, which I thought was cool. Again, those tiny details that we were talking about. It's really cool when we bring it all together, taking real-life inspiration and putting it into the movie and being like, yeah, dude, that happened. There were aliens there, at least in terms of this story.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest strengths of this movie. I also really like the villain, played by
Colin Firth.
Colin Firth. I almost said Joshua Connor again, but yeah, Colin Firth.
Love me Colin Firth. It was a far and few. I liked, honestly, that the message of the burden of truth, or burden of proof, rather, I guess. I don't know, either or, whichever you want to say. It was kind of like, it was thrown in there every now and then to remind you, like, hey, there is something that you should take away that you could think about with this. Like, sure, it's about aliens, but, you know, it's right in your face.
Right.
I'm telling you about these things, especially being from, like, a cybersecurity person who was imprisoned for their work as a cybersecurity specialist. I don't know, it says a lot, especially in this day and age.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And I really liked that takeaway, especially because both sides, I think, have very, very plausible arguments to be made, like the anarchy that would come from the truth, but also, you know, how the lack of truth really, like, not knowing what you don't know, to me is a really big weakness in society sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
So, really good message.
But to add to that, I mean, that's what makes the ending so... This is a great transition.
Dude, oh my god.
But that's what makes the ending so powerful, in my opinion, or like the climax, despite it not being a traditional climax, right?
Right.
It's a very... It's huge. It's big, right? We go on the air... We bring an alien on camera. We show off everything that the government has done to hide everything. That lack of knowing, getting rid of that, right? Telling everyone what's going on and what's been happening.
How do you feel about the ending? Because I don't know how
I
I
was
feel
listening,
personally
that's for sure.
About. Yeah, exactly. Listen, I don't know how I feel.
And that's why I wanted to choose this for today's analysis subject, because as interesting as I find the ending, and as much as I enjoy everything that led up to the moment that I was listening, it once again felt like an incomplete ending.
I agree.
Yeah, because this movie doesn't plan for a sequel, so I'm trying to be a little bit more forgiving on Backrooms since our very controversial episode. But this movie definitely has that unfinishedness to it, and there's no sequel planned. And I wanted to see more reactions. I wanted to see more bigger things happen. Like, I wanted to see what is she gonna tell us? What did the alien say to her? And I think that is left for us to interpret.
Which is fine. I think that's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. I agree with that. But I wanted to see reactions. They say when you're writing a character death, for example, it's not the death itself that's hard. It's the reactions to the death. If the characters in the story aren't reacting to what is happening or to the character death, it's not going to land home. Listen, I didn't react to that because no one else reacted to that, so I didn't feel anything.
I see what you mean.
To the alien, I felt so much suspense, and that's why I was waiting to see. I can think about it, the interpretation, what it wanted to say, but I needed. You didn't have to tell me what the alien said, but I need to see a reaction to what the alien said. And I think that's the same thing with Backrooms. I didn't feel anything except, oh, we're about to get something. Someone's going to react to what's going on. And then the credits are rolling like, whoa.
For sure.
And that's how I felt with Listen.
Especially because with a movie like this one, I felt like it was using the information of the aliens and these government cover-ups to convey the message of is there a right to the truth? Is that more harm than good? And so teeing up to that, to end it off with Just Listen, where I feel like, the ending for me should have had the intention of defining what the message was. Because when you have...
So it feels like an undefined message.
It feels like an unconcluded message for me. Because with something as open-ended as that, like, for the climax, it just feels like I was edged the entire time, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like, I'm not necessarily, should I be told what to think, but I would have liked to know... I just would have wanted to know what they wanted me to think, as opposed to leaving it that open-ended with an already open-ended, very, very, discussable topic.
I agree. But I think with that being said, what do you think the alien said?
My headcanon is it just repeated the same thing that Margaret, or I guess more so Daniel, since he was able to interpret what Margaret was saying, as don't fear what you don't know.
Yeah.
I think if that's the same alien that was guiding them through this entire thing, I'm almost certain that is what happened, given that how we got the information from Hugo and all of them and their whole mission. I personally think that it just said, listen, don't fear what you don't know. Mic drop, I guess.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really get anything.
Because what I don't have the exact wordage like you do. I like that. That's really cool. How I took the ending with listen was whatever the alien said was the correct thing to say to get humans on board with being friendly with this species.
Maybe something about empathy.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Because in my mind, this mission is about peace. We see the aliens interacting with the humans. They don't seem to be abused or anything like that. Just, covered up and not exposed. So I think this alien wanted to expose the truth and to try and bring together this new community between aliens and humans. However, it said that with its right?
Yeah.
That's for Margaret to tell us. And I am, in fact, still listening. Hello? Hello? Anyone there?
See, another part of me wonders is... but then it wouldn't make sense in the context of the movie for Margaret to say, listen, not have anything follow up. But at the same time, as an audience member, in my mind, it also makes sense for the ending message of the entire movie to be, listen. Because I feel like from listening comes a lot of understanding and empathy and everything else.
Yeah. So you think there's a chance that that's it? That's all the aliens
Maybe.
said? I like that.
Maybe just listen. Don't fear what you don't know is a quite simple, independent clause, lexically. So maybe it did something even more simple.
Steven Spielberg is known for his very deep movies with very deep themes and messages. I think having a movie in the sense of, listen, don't fear what you don't know, have empathy, coexist with these creatures. There are things that are well beyond us, but we can learn to understand them if we cooperate with them.
Exactly. Thinking about also from Mr. Spielberg, Ready Player One, for example, I feel like that's another one of dystopia, people not agreeing with the same idea of what progression is, or not even necessarily progression, but what a video game. Yeah, exactly. When I start, but what the lack thereof and its consequences can really be. So maybe it is just listen. Because, oh my god, you know what that makes me think of? A super highlight of this movie is the fucking dialogue between Hugo and...
Oh yes, this scene.
What's his name? Hugo
Noah.
And Noah.
Scanlan.
Holy shit.
That one scene where Scanlan is projecting himself to Hugo. Oh my fucking god.
I feel like that scene was most of the movie.
I do agree.
That makes sense. Yeah. Feels like really what it was trying to convey, and it almost was breaking the silence for half a second, being in your face, this is what I'm trying to tell you, this is what I'm trying to convey through this movie. Okay, now back to aliens for people who are, I need my dipole held and changed for me. So, yeah, you know, maybe
it was a very interesting dialogue, and it was a very enjoyable conversation between the two biggest driving forces of the movie that were trying to manipulate all the events towards either side of the truth, either keeping it hidden or exposing it. Seeing their philosophies and their past and how they've changed, like Scanlan changed after his wife died, like Hugo mentioned. It added layers to each of their characters that
absolutely
that just persisted, and it was great.
Especially when in a dialogue like that, and with a topic like this, you know, there are many avenues to reach the truth, and so maybe that gets so convoluted that, like, I'm sure both of them thought that they were correct. Yeah. Even with characters like Daniel, who was, you know, with the help of Jane, was like, oh, you know, I never thought about it. Am I doing the right thing? Like, Jane and Daniel were the two, I think, more flexible parts of the argument, and they were represented very well with that, since Daniel was like, changed his perspective a little bit through Jane, and then Jane's perspective changed through the showing of aliens' existence and the nun's reaction with the sister. So, I mean, that's just another reason I really like that scene, because they were the very hard opposite sides of the scale.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a very deep message, deep methodical message that everyone nowadays can do. In the eve of all of these wars and these gas prices and a trillionaire.
Ugh, yeah.
But yeah, just listen.
This is true.
Just listen, just have empathy. But I think that's everything you have. That's everything I have.
That's pretty much all I got.
Tune in next week for the return of the actual show, Blockbuster Banter, for Toy Story 5. Yeah. Thank you for the support on the previous 2 analysis episodes, as they have both done just as well, if not better, than some of our actual podcast episodes.
Thanks for hearing us ramble on.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Please tell us what you thought of Disclosure Day. Please tell us your interpretation of the ending. If you agree that you should just listen.
Or is there something more?
Yeah. Maybe there's something more that we missed.
We will be here.
We will be here.
We will be waiting.
And we will be listening.
It's an Optimus Prime reference.
I know.
Okay, good.
But yeah, and we'll see you for Toy Story 5.
Bye-bye.